When you are. Hello and welcome to Hockey Night on Memory to Video Productions. I'm Evan G. Marlow with Joe B.B. Quinn back again behind the camera. We welcome you to Game 1 of the playoffs here in the E1 division with the Allies facing off against the Demon Deacons. This is the first of two semifinals with the winner advancing to play in the best of 3 championship starting Saturday versus the winner of the Rangers in the Marmoset Redux. Today's game is a rematch of the last game of the season on Saturday night, just 2 days ago, where the Allies took the win 6-2 in a penalty-filled, conflict-filled game. Defenseman Todd Dagnon actually kicked out for a major boarding penalty in that game. We got 2 experienced refs, Justin Coet and Pete Malik, on here today. Hopefully things stay a little calmer than Saturday, but we shall see if there's any more fireworks. Allies up front, led by Brian Watros last game. He had 4 goals. Was the key to a big second period that led to their victory. As always, Evan Hill on the line with him. And Eric Blazinski and Rieger up front, adding to the Allies' vaunted offense. For the Demon Deacons, Greg Jacobs up front is a big body, and they also helped on the back end by Dan Mancini and Todd Dagnon, often opening and ending up in the rush as well with big slap shots. In goal, Seth Gibson. Not a great game for him, but he didn't have to do much last time out. He is strong, though, best goalie in the E1 division, so it'll be tough for the Demon Deacons to get anything past him today. For the Demon Deacons, it was a question mark whether Julio Alves would be here today, but he was able to make it, so we'll need a strong effort from him. He's shown some potential, but did end up giving up 6 goals again last game. We'll see if he's able to hold off the Allies and come up strong for a big upset win today. Once again, the Allies are sponsored by Central Cafe, owned by Ron the Fave, which makes unbelievable chicken wings right down in Central Plainville. We'll be back after these messages with the opening face-off, Game 1 of the semifinals of the E1 division after this. Check. Here we are with the opening face-off as first round of the playoffs begin here tonight. Should be an exciting game. See if we have as much drama and penalties as last game. It's Watros, Hill, Benning, and Talbot on for the Allies to start. Jacobs, Santos up front for the Demon Deacons, with Todd Dagnon making his return after getting ejected last game, back on the blue line with Dan Mancini to start. A little back and forth action here. Up now to Evan Hill. Over for Watros. Watros shot blocker saved by Alves. Alves was a little bit of a question mark whether he would be able to make it tonight, but able to get here in time for the game. Poked around a little bit, eventually up to Watros and over to Hill. Hill takes off the boards, tries to get a pass through, to sticked away by Santos. Jacobs pressures Hill now. Hill slips on through to Watros, leaves it back for Hill. Hill with a shot. Another blocker saved by Alves, cleared away by Mancini. There's a good chance there by Watros. Alves looking strong already. Couple good chances there from Hill and Watros. Not able to get anything too close to the net, but showing their offense early on here. Watros, of course, with the 4 goals when these two teams met last on Saturday. Line changes for both teams. Rieger and Blazinski up front as Bradigo's shot swallowed up by Alves. Delgado and Bradigo on the point. And we see our first look at Jack Wilkins, number 23. He did miss last game, so we'll see if he can be a factor here today. Jacobs with a good stick lift on Bradigo, but Gibson able to swallow that one up. First action Seth Gibson had to see there. He was strong in the last game between these two teams. Didn't see many shots, but made the saves he needed to for the Allies to win. Delgado up for Bradigo. Bradigo chips it on up in now with Daniel. Shot, good glove save there by Alves. Good job of Bradigo using the D-man. Daniel backing up as a screen. Alves able to snag that out of the air. Good save from him. He's looked strong so far to start the game here for the Demon Deacons. Off the boards now to Bradigo. Good shoulder save there. Loose in front. Trying to whack at it was Blazinski. It ended up on Jacobs' stick, and he'll enter. A little too loose on the stick handle was Jacobs, and Delgado poked away from him. They battle for it. Delgado comes up with it. Trying to get the backhand through, but Jacobs saved Gibson. Bad turnover there by Joey Delgado. Trying to backhand sauce it. Jacobs knocked it down. Had a good chance. Gibson able to just get enough of it to let it not go through his 5-hole there. Jacobs again with it now over to Daniel. Up just out of the reach of Bonpain. Rieger backhanded it up to Blazinski. Blazinski will enter on Wilkins off of his leg and over to Daniel. Rieger chips that up to Blazinski. He had Bradigo if he was able to get it to him, but unable to. On the boards with it now is Blazinski. Cross pass over to Bradigo. He takes in the corner. Loose pass there up to Daniel and up to Santos now. He enters in on Benning. Benning sticks that away. Rieger has Watros turning the wrong way. And the Demon Deacons enter the zone. Santos with it now. Good block there by Talbot sliding on the deck. Watros intercepts the pass to the D. Goes right past Mancini. Cuts in. Shot. Great save by Alves. Beautiful cutting by Watros, but Alves coming up huge early on here, keeping this a scoreless game. Watros with it again now. Mancini able to get that one away from him, but Hill picks up the loose ball. Trying to get through Santos, eventually does. Past Wilkins, looking for Watros just out of his reach. Had him on the back door for the one-timer. Hill looking to get his line mate Watros another one-timer goal, but just out of the reach there. Behind Seth Gibson's net now. Still loose. Santos with it. Both defensemen for the Allies on the deck. And Hill comes up with it up to Watros. Drop back for Hill. Hill trying to cut across. Good D there from Mancini. Watros skated past it. Wilkins pass intercepted by Hill and dumped on back down to the right of Alves. Mancini picked it up. Stick lift by Watros. Mancini with a couple nice spin moves there. Able to get it over to Santos. Santos, poor job of controlling that pass. But Hill's look for Watros is loose as well and picked up by Wilkins. Wilkins entering the zone now behind the net, looking to clear in front. Great chance there for Santos as he dove trying to get that one, but the shot just wide of Seth Gibson. Nice feed in front from Wilkins. Benning rims it around. Jacobs the first one to it. Chips it back on down. Benning second chance, able to get out. Taken back by Mancini. Hill pokes that right away from him. Drop back for Watros. Watros shot, score! A snipe from Brian Watros opens up the scoring here from the Allies. And we have ourselves a 1-0 lead here in the first period. Hill with the great play, taking it behind the net, dropped it back. Defense was turned a little bit, but the reason for that goal was the beautiful snipe of Brian Watros going high glove on Alves. Alves, a couple great saves early on, but unable to get that one as Watros, after a 4-goal performance last time these two teams met, comes out early and opens up the scoring giving the Allies a 1-0 lead here in the first. Delgado up for Rieger now. She dumps it on in. Daniel clears it on all the way down. Able to get through the rafters, so no whistle there. Up now to Blazinski. Good breakout pass by Delgado. Drop pass intercepted by Jacobs. Jacobs shot deflected in the corner. Rieger with it now. Slaps it on up. Mancini drops over for Daniel. Daniel chips past Blazinski up for Bonpain. Bonpain with a big wine shot wide. Good move by Daniel to keep that puck deflected. Oh, I think it may have hit the post there as Jacobs deflected Daniel's backhand shot, and it got past Seth Gibson, but not in the net. Off of the back of Blazinski's skate and up to Jacobs. Delgado chipping it on up. Rieger with it now. She'll just safely clear it on down. Big slapper score! Dan Mancini with the ripper from the red line. Through a whole bunch of people and able to get it over the glove hand of Seth Gibson. He didn't see that one at all. A late glove reaction by Gibson that somehow snuck through about 3 or 4 people in the vision of Seth Gibson. And a tie game on our hands now as Dan Mancini with the big rip from the red line. Getting the Demon Deacons on the board here. This is chipped on down now where Benning will take. A bad turnover to him. Santos with a great chance now. Shot saved by Gibson. A terrible turnover by Benning. Just passed it right to Santos. Santos in all alone. Tried going 5-hole on Gibson, but Gibson squeezing the legs in time. Keeping this a 1-1 game for the time being. Loose puck. Talbot whacks it up to Hill. Hill will settle it on back down. Nice move by him. Shot blocked, though, by Daniel. Talbot takes behind the net. Drops on back. Benning backhand up for Watros. Watros, knowing exactly where his line mate Evan Hill is, finds him in stride, but he gets it poked away. Watros with it again now. Over to Hill. Hill's shot blocked again by Daniel. Some strong D by Daniel here on this shift. Great back check by Evan Hill. Able to get the ball eventually away from Santos, but Talbot rims around and ends up on Wilkins' stick. In the corner now where Benning holds. Backhander hops over the stick of Hill. Daniel will whack it on down to Bonpain. Talbot, a second attempt, able to poke it away from him. 2-on-2 now for the Allies. Just behind Brian Watros. He runs into the ref. Ref looks a little shaken up, and he'll settle it down. Watros with it now. Daniel fends off Watros. Up to Jacobs. Over to now Santos. His backhander attempt saved by Gibson. Cleared all the way down where Mancini, the goal scorer for the Demon Deacons, hold. Almost a costly turnover by Wilkins. Backhander all the way up. And a whistle. And looks like they're going to take both Santos and Hill. So we managed to make it almost all the way through the first period. Just over a minute and a half left now. And Santos and Hill getting into it there. So coincidental minors on our hands. So far the penalty fest and physicality of the last game hasn't quite carried over, but that's our first taste of it, so we'll see what happens after that. Up now to Mancini. Jacobs back to Wilkins. Wilkins fighting with Blazinski. Cleared on down, taken by Mancini again, over to Dagnon. Chipped up to Mancini, back to Dagnon. They pay catch. Over now, back to Mancini. Eventually, shot on down to Wilkins in the corner. Trying to clear in front to Jacobs, but unable to, and safely shot on down by Joey Delgado. Delgado pressuring Wilkins. Get the stick caught up, and looks like Wilkins will be off for that one. Delgado joining the rush now. Trying to get the backhand through, goes wide. Touched up by Jacobs, and we have a high sticking call on Jack Wilkins. So the Allies will head to the power play. Be 29 seconds left here in the first period. It was Delgado who was pressuring Wilkins behind the net. They got into it a little bit, and eventually Wilkins, as he was caught up, stick got a little too high. A soft clear by Mancini. Not sure what that's all about. Great pass by Rieger. Blazinski trying to deflect it on net. We have Watros on the point with Bradigo. See how this works out for the Allies, as Watros with it now. Fends off Dagnon, wheels around, trying to clear in front of Blazinski, unable to. Taken by Mancini with the waning seconds here. So the Allies will have a little bit of power play time left to start the second period. It was a Brian Watros snipe led off the scoring, and then a wicked slap shot by Dan Mancini to get the Demon Deacons on the board. So we have ourselves a 1-1 game here after the first period. We'll take a quick break and be back with the start of the second. Back now with the start of the second period, as always. This is a memory to video production. Shots were 7-4 Allies in the first period, as Julio Alves came up big with a couple chances early on before the Watros goal. Not a ton of action after the Demon Deacons answered with Mancini's slap shot. Here's a chance for Hill. Blocked away, though, by the defense. Joey Delgado taking credit for screening Seth Gibson on the slap shot that snuck by from the red line. It was Delgado along with Bradigo and another Demon Deacons player all in line, made it so Gibson didn't see that slap shot before it was too late. Here's the goal scorer Mancini with it now. He winds again. This time Gibson able to see it well enough and get a good blocker on that one. Get it up and out of play. Strong save there by Gibson, as Mancini shown himself to have quite the slap shot. Back to Delgado, over for Benning, as Wilkins out of the box, and we're back to even strength. Cleared on over to Watros. He chips it on over Mancini. Takes behind the net. Trying to backhand it over to Hill. Gets it to him. Hill with it behind the net now. Chipped up to Watros, but that bounces over his stick. Delgado dumps it back to Watros. Plays it safely off the boards to Benning. Down to Hill. Trying to nutmeg Mancini, unable to. And here's Wilkins with a little bit of a break. His shot wide of Gibson. Up to Watros now. He's got Delgado and Hill with him. They all cross. Trying to get it on through. Strong D by Daniel. Daniel's been very strong on the back end so far for the Demon Deacons. Loose in front. And it was Benning able to clear it away as the shot came from Santos. And Gibson got a piece of it but had a loose rebound. Lucky for him and Benning able to whack it away from Ball and Payne. Hill with a nice move there. Stuck away by Mancini. Cleared on down and taken by Gibson. 1-1 here still in the first. It was a strong second period outburst by the Allies last game that turned a 1-goal game into a 5-goal lead, just like that is. This is loose in front in Mancini's chance, so Allies will be looking to have a repeat performance while the Demon Deacons, big wine by Bradigo wide, try to improve their second period play. Up almost for Jacobs, back to Bonpay, now shot, score! Beautiful snipe by Bonpay. Tried getting it over to Jacobs, it hit a stick, got back to him, rips the wrister over the blocker of Seth Gibson. Seth Gibson very unhappy with that. It was a strong shot by Ball and Payne, but one that I think Gibson certainly will want back. Tough play for him, though, going side to side like that. Jumping over to his left, expecting the pass to get through, and then it going right back to Ball and Payne. He was quick to get the wrister off. Talbot with it now up to Bradigo, and then spun all the way around, almost takes out the referee. It's Bradigo and Talbot now on defense as the lines have changed a little bit, and Delgado is playing with Benning for the last couple shifts here for the Allies. Bradigo spins around almost a little dangerously, but able to come out with it. Oh, enter. Wine. Good save there by Alves. I believe that was the knob of his stick that got that one. Santos can't get past Talbot's long reach. Payne's big wine blocker save on the ground by Gibson. Santos with it now. Up to Wilkins, up to Santos. Poked away by Rieger. Over to Talbot. Up now, Blazinski with it. Big wine by him. Kick save by Alves. And out of play for a whistle and face off to the Demon Deacons goaltender's right. Demon Deacons giving the Allies a lot of trouble this year, of course being the only team to beat them this season with a 6-2 victory in the first game of the year. Last game, it was a 2-1 first period, and a Demon Deacons actually won the third period 1-0, but a strong second period effort that led to the lopsided score. So for the most part, other than last second period, the Demon Deacons have actually had the better of the Allies this season. This one cleared on down where it will be picked up by Delgado. Up to Hill. Over for Watros. Can't get a good piece of that one. A great glove save by Alves. Watros not able to get a ton of wood on it, but able to still deflect it in towards the net. And Alves sliding over makes a great glove save, keeping this a 1-goal lead for him. Having said that about the Demon Deacons having better than the Allies, there is a reason the Allies were the #1 seed and the Demon Deacons had to squeeze in by a tiebreaker to get into the playoffs, as the Allies are the superior talented team. But the Demon Deacons have played them strong so far this season, and right now find themselves up 2-1 here in the first round of the playoffs. Gibson clears it out around his net to Benning. Benning spins off Santos. Whacks it on up to Hill. Hill trying to chip on through to Watros in his skates, unable to get it. Alves pops on out. Swallows it up for the whistle. Watros just unable to get a strong enough piece of that one. It'll be Watros and Santos on for the face-off. As the referee, very slow to pick up the ball, but eventually gets on over to it. We mentioned the new referees in the pregame in case of any repeat performances of last game, but so far, other than the one Hill and Santos coincidental minor, and was most likely more of an accidental high stick on Wilkins. No other penalties today, and certainly not the same kind of action we saw in the last matchup. Up to Watros. His shot saved by Alves. Alves coming up strong again. He's been the difference so far today, as the Allies have had more chances than the Demon Deacons, not by a significant amount, but Alves certainly the reason they are still winning 2-1 right now with just over 5 minutes here in the second period remaining. Good face-off win. Delgado's one-timer up and over. Rieger trying to whack it in, goes up and over the net again. It's Rieger, Dagnon, and Mancini all whacking at it behind the net. Mancini able to come out with it. His big line goes wide. Sticked away from Bonpain by Gibson. Bradigo clears it on up to nobody, so it goes to Jacobs. But Bradigo able to get it from him. Bradigo entering with speed. Good stick there by Mancini. Another big wine save by Gibson. Mancini's got a hell of a slap shot on him. He's not afraid to use it. Gibson able to swallow that one up, though, and keep this a 2-1 Demon Deacons lead. Jacobs trying to shoot on net. Loose in front, Bonpain. Glove save. Loose. Another save by Gibson. Eventually swallowed up. Two great saves by Seth Gibson as Jacobs shot right off the draw. Caught Gibson a little flat-footed, and he was unable to control the rebound. Bonpain whacked at it. Gibson made two remarkable saves on rebounds by Bonpain. Ref lining up Bradigo. This face-off back to Dagnon. Delgado trying to chip it up, but Dagnon intercepts. Bonpain's backhander into the chest of Gibson, and he swallows that one up. Bonpain finding himself right in the slot twice in a row with the ball on his stick, but Gibson coming up huge for the Allies. This face-off loose. Eventually Wilkins whacks at it down to Blazinski. Down to Joey Delgado. His pass intercepted by Bonpain. Bonpain with a nice move there. Backhand wide. Bradigo up off Rieger's stick. Bonpain with a big slapper wide. Demon Deacons bench screaming for their team to shoot from far away and just get shots on net. Rieger's trying to clear in front, picked up by Dagnon. Dagnon in with speed. Shot wide, short side of Gibson. Nice move there by Bradigo. He'll enter the rush. Big wrister curls on him and up above Julio Alves and out of play. Demon Deacons with a nice little push here, keeping the pressure on with the 1-goal lead. Seth Gibson coming up big. The last couple minutes of play carried by the Demon Deacons. Something the Allies certainly not used to. Talbot and Jacobs fight with it. Santos spins. glove down by Talbot. Jacobs trying to clear it in front. Shot on down to Mancini. Mancini up. Benning intercepts that one up to Hill. Hill kicks it up to himself, trying his back pass, but Wilkins takes. Benning able to pinch that off, though. His shot loose in front. Hill whacks at it, saved by Alves. Over to Wilkins. His slow wrister is safely swallowed up by Seth Gibson. Alves with another big save, that one on Evan Hill. It was Benning's shot, was loose in front, but Alves able to flash his left pad down in time. Last game, the Demon Deacons did get noticeably tired as this shot's blocked by Talbot, and the play was controlled more and more by the Allies as the game went on. Once again, only with 6 men today. Well, you'll see if they can hold on to this lead here. So far, doing a good job of it with 2 minutes remaining here in the second. Hill trying to squeak it on through to Watros, knocked down by Mancini. Picked up back by Hill, though. Hill cuts back, shot saved by Alves. Not sure how much of that one Alves saw through the screen, but able to get his pad up on it. Chipped on up for Santos. Benning fights him off. Backhand up for Hill. Hill and Watros both let it through, and Mancini clears it on around. Down now to Talbot. Rims around to Hill. Hill able to keep it, but ends up in the corner. Cuts back in now. Drop down to Benning. Good cycle there. Watros had a great chance in front. The pass from Benning just hopped over his stick off of a great cycle by Hill and Benning. Santos now settles it on down back to Wilkins. Wilkins taken away by Watros. Watros shot blocker saved by Alves. Loose in Hill. Benning chipped on down to Hill. Played by Wilkins, loose in front. Saved by Alves. Came diving out, just able to get a piece of it there on the Watros chance. Wilkins with it now. Chip on up. Santos in all alone. His shot wide of Gibson's glove. Hill's shot blocked by Mancini. Daniel. Santos, Mancini screaming for it from the red line in, just on the top of his lungs. Dangerous play there by Delgado as he checks the time. Up now to Hill. Over to Watros. Up to Hill, can't get a piece of it. Goes on through the goal mouth, cleared on down. And that'll be the end of the period. Mancini still angry about that 3-on-1 as they fight in their bench, but they shouldn't be fighting too much as they find themselves up 2-1 on the number 1 seed Allies. We'll take a quick break and see if the Demon Deacons can hold off for the upset in the third period after these messages. Back now here with the start of the third period. Allies find themselves in an unfamiliar position as that slap shot by Mancini right off the ankle of the referee. And Justin Coet, a little slow to get up there. He's shaken up now in the corner. But the Allies find themselves down 2-1 here with a possibility of being upset here in the first round, something they certainly weren't expecting. We'll see if they can answer here in the third, or if the Demon Deacons and the play of Julio Alves in net will be enough to hold on for the win. Cleared on down now for Talbot. Blazinski's wrister shot, score! Beautiful wrist shot by Eric Blazinski to the right of Alves on the blue line. Don't think he saw that one very well. A late glove reaction by him, but a laser wrister by Blazinski ties it up for the Allies 2-2. Just like that, we find ourselves back at square one in a tie game as Blazinski, with a serious wrist shot there, through a couple of defensemen, able to get that missile on through, and he'll try again from the same spot, this time low. Alves makes that save. Mancini fighting with it. Mancini, throughout the entire intermission, very animated, arguing with his team. Is this turnover by Bradigo? Terrible turnover by Bradigo, and Santos had a wide open shot right in front. But Gibson comes up with a save. Looks like that shot may have not hit Seth Gibson, but just gone straight up and out of play, as Santos' great opportunity goes to waste there on the terrible turnover by Bradigo. Jacobs waxing on down to Delgado. His wrists are all the way down. Slapper, rather. Gloved on down by Daniel. Benning up to Hill. Over to Talbot. Deflected down. Daniel has a ton of blocks today. Haven't been keeping track, but certainly numerous. Santos on the back check, somehow perplexed by that penalty call. Seemed fairly obvious to me, and I assume everyone else here, but trying to back check on Delgado, he basically just hugged him, which is not allowed in hockey. So he will sit down for a minute or so here, and the Allies try to take the lead on a power play here in the third period. We find ourselves tied 2-2. It's Benning, Delgado, Watros, and Hill on for the power play. Wilkins, Daniel, and Bonpain, the killers for the Demon Deacons. Over to Delgado. He holds. Another block by Daniel. Backhander up to Hill, trying to squeak it on, chip it on through over to Alves with the save, though. In tight, Hill trying to chip it up and over, unable to. Benning slowly holds up to Delgado now. Hill gets the loose ball. Make great move on Wilkins. Backhander doesn't get all the way through. Alves, no allies anywhere in sight, so whistle not blown. Able to leave it back to Daniel. Jacobs screaming at his team from the bench. Very vocal team, the Demon Deacons. Watros. Shot score! Brian Watros sneaks it in short side. Alves frozen by that one. And just like that, the Allies take a 3-2 lead behind another snipe from Brian Watros. Similar spot as his first goal. Maybe even a little tighter of an angle on that one. Rolling up the boards on the power play. Just quick wrister on net, squeaks on through, and gives his team, the Allies, a 3-2 lead. That's his 6th goal in the last 2 games. Julio Alves will be having nightmares about Brian Watros for years to come. Up now to Santos, taken by Baratigo, and then eventually cleared down safely by Talbot. So the Allies come out here strong in the third, able to tie it up behind Eric Blazinski's wrister and then take the lead from Watros. And just like that, they find themselves in familiar territory up in the third rather than down. We'll see if the Demon Deacons can come up with a good response here. As Talbot in now. Shot saved by Alves. Loose and picked up by Daniel. Knocked down by Blazinski. But with a high stick. So we will have a whistle and face off out of the zone. Just over 7 minutes here remaining in game 1 of the postseason. Winner of this game, of course, faces off against the Marmoset Redux Rangers winner. And that'll be a best-of-3 championship series. This, of course, a one-game sudden death semifinal. Loose in front for Jacobs. Squeaks through, but not into the net. Gibson got a piece of it. Squeaked on through right off the faceoff. Jacobs wide open in the slot. Once again, the Allies leaving Demon Deacons players wide open in the slot off of faceoffs. This time it was Jacobs who had the shot. Gibson got a piece of it. It squeaked on by him and just out of the net. Mancini sure to take any chance he can with the big slapper. That one goes to the right of Gibson off the boards. Over to Wilkins, but his pass ends up on Talbot's stick. Talbot just dumps it on back down. Wilkins up to Jacobs. Over for Santos. Santos' shot goes all the way through the goal mouth. And Eric Blazinski will win. His shot just wide of the blocker of Alves. Hill stops on it there. Try and go past Daniel. Daniel been very strong on the back end throughout the game. He'll enter now. Benning ends up on the deck. Delgado with it now. Cleared on down. And Benning will take. Daniel, of course, got kicked out last game, so didn't play the entire game. He's been a big difference maker here today, leading to the Demon Deacons only being down by 1 goal right now, and certainly well in this game. 5:35 remaining for them to try to tie it up. This face-off, Watros trying to shoot it on down a hill, but Daniel there again, showing some hops that time, able to get a piece of it. Otherwise, Hill would have been all alone on a breakaway. Santos trying to deflect that one, ends up behind the net of Gibson. He can't find it at first. Still bouncing around back there. And eventually Delgado gets it over to Hill. Hill up to Watros. His shot just wide of the blocker side of Alves. Back to Hill. Blocked again by Daniel. Watros gets it over to Hill. Through. Beautiful save by Alves. Kicking out his leg on a great passing play, Watros and Hill. But an even better save by Alves. He'll need one here. And comes out greatly, cutting off the angle of Evan Hill. Some fantastic goaltending by Julio Alves. A question mark whether he would be here today. The Demon Deacons certainly happy he was able to make it, as he's been a huge difference maker today with some huge saves. None more spectacular than the left pad he just flashed on Evan Hill. This face-off eventually back to Delgado as Watros and Jacobs get into it a little bit off this draw. Mancini with it now. Curls across, runs into ball and pain. Delgado up to Watros. His shot squeezed and able to get enough of it was Alves. Betting takes now. Up and over to Watros. Watros shot wide. Back to Delgado. He holds off Jacobs. Slap pass, squeezes through the 5-hole of Alves. After so many great saves, Julio Alves wants that one back. It was a slap pass from Delgado trying to get it over to Watros in front for the deflection. But I believe it hit off a stick, sort of changed direction, and caught Alves with his legs open. Looks like the Demon Deacons will take a timeout here after falling behind 2 goals now. Alves very disappointed about that one. He's played fantastic all night up to this point. We'll take a quick break, come back with the remaining 3:48 of this game, see if the Demon Deacons are able to score 2 goals and take back the lead. back now with 3:48 remaining, and the Allies leading 4-2 here in the first of two semifinals in the E1 division here. 3 goals here in the third period for the Allies have given them a 4-2 lead. Julio Alves strong in net all night, but lets up a weak one there to Joey Delgado, as Randall Mahalik actually during that timeout showed up, so maybe a little fresh legs from him could spur a couple goals for the Demon Deacons. They'll certainly hope so. They need 2 now to tie it up. A tall order on a goalie as good as Seth Gibson. Shipped on down now for Dagnon. He clears it down. Bradigo just shoots it back down and taken by Wilkins. His shot off of Bradigo loose. Mahalik with his first touch. Shot well wide of the net. Blazinski conservatively just shooting it on down. No need to try anything crazy here, up 2 goals with just a few minutes remaining. This one ends up back to Wilkins. Mahalik's shot way high, so Mahalik's 2 touches so far. One shot about 10 feet to the right and then the other 10 feet high. See if he is able to calibrate himself a little bit more. .244 remaining now. Allies still holding on to a 2-goal lead. Blazinski's shot ends up behind the net, and Wilkins takes it up to Dagnon. Good back check there by Blazinski. Mahalik with it again, or for Mancini. He's screaming for Mancini, very vocal out there, him and Jacobs. Great pass in front, blocker save by Gibson. Dagnon with a great pass to Santos, but a huge save by Gibson. Mancini's slapper doesn't get all the way through that crowd. Ends up back in the corner of Mahalik. He clears in front, Santos whacking at it. Gibson coming up big. Strong push there by the Demon Deacons, as Santos with a couple great chances in front, and 2:01 remaining. Demon Deacons wondering if it's too early to pull the goalie or not. The scorekeeper giving them some advice, saying it's too much time, and they listen to her and remain playing 4-on-4 for now. Big line by Dagnon. Good save there by Gibson. Dagnon pinches that one off. Shoots it on down wide behind the net. Gibson throwing out a nice little stick out to Gibson. A delayed call by the referee. But eventually Pete Malik from back behind the red line able to see it. It was Gibson throwing a little right arm shiver into the leg of Abe Santos as the puck was to his right. There was about a 2-second delay before any whistle, but eventually the referee did make what I believe to be the right call. So a power play chance here for the Demon Deacons. They'll need one quick here and then another. There's a great chance in front. Jacobs whacking at it, but Gibson able to swallow up the rebound before Jacobs able to get to it. Hill with it now. Watro's shooting it on down to Hill. Hill and Mancini with it behind the net. They wrestle with it. Both end up on the deck. And then Mancini with an extra shove on Hill. And that'll even things up. A poor play by Mancini. As him and Hill got into it a little bit there in the corner. Nothing too crazy, but as eventually the play started moving away from the corner, an extra shove by Mancini on Hill getting up led to the penalty being called. Jacobs trying to take a run at Hill there, and we have another delayed penalty. Watros unable to. It was Daniel rather with the hit on Evan Hill. Both him and Jacobs were going after Hill on the boards as the Demon Deacons starting to realize the fate of their season is grim. 1:13 remaining now, down 2 men. Not much hope for them, and we'll see probably. They may not actually have enough guys to even really do anything too dirty, but certainly showed last game that these two teams can get into it. And with the fate of this game already decided, Jacobs trying to pick a fight and still going at it with Evan Hill. Throws a little shove on Watros. So we'll have a little bit of excitement here in the last minute with the fate of this game pretty much set in stone. Both Jacobs and Hill lose their stick on that encounter. Loose in front for Watros. Mahalik and Watros get into it a little bit there. Watros on the wraparound, trying to squeeze it in. 51 seconds remaining now with the 4-2 lead for the Allies, looking like they will advance. See if they make it out alive, with Hill and Jacobs getting into it a little bit again here. Joey Delgado, the always calming force of the Allies, decides to settle it on down. Chipped up to Watros. Watros in all alone. Saved by Alves. Jacobs falls, so Watros ends up back with it, but totally flubs that shot. 20 seconds remaining now, and Benning out of the box, serving Seth Gibson's penalty. Over for Delgado's shot, score. Rubbing it in a little bit there are the Allies. Certainly these two teams don't like each other, so no need to show any remorse for that one. Up 2 men there, and plenty of space. Evan Hill able to find Delgado on the back door for the one-timer, making this a 5-2 game. Not sure what the issue is here, as that was a power play goal, so of course 3 players now should be out for the Demon Deacons. They take a second to realize that, eventually get Wilkins out there. So it'll be a 5-2, barring a late goal here with 5 seconds remaining. 5-2 victory here for the Allies. A strong effort by them here in the third period. A 4-goal period for the Allies. They take control. A rough start for them. Demon Deacons showing why they've given the Allies fits all season. Julio Alves, great effort in goal today, but eventually the Allies just too much, and they look more like themselves in the third period. Come on strong. Take a 5-2 victory. They'll advance now to the finals on Saturday night, where they will face the winner of the Rangers and Marmoset Redux, 2 teams they've beaten twice this year. So the Allies will certainly be the favorite regardless of who wins that matchup. Strong game up front for Brian Watros again, giving Julio Alves fits. Alves played fantastic in goal, made some remarkable saves. But in the end, too much Allies offense, and Demon Deacons unable to hold on to the lead they found early on. Strong effort by the Demon Deacons this year, giving the Allies fits. Certainly the hardest competition they've faced so far in the E1. Another strong game from Seth Gibson in goal. But in the end, Allies advance 5-2. They'll be in the championship looking for their 3rd straight, moving up divisions, but still trying to win another championship. And that'll be Saturday night. We'll see you then. For Joe B.B. Quinn behind the camera, as always, this has been a Memory to Video Productions. I'm Evan G. Marlow. Thanks, and we'll see you for the championship.